Hello. My name is Brittany D. I'm a psychic medium and spiritual teacher, and I'm here to give you the collective message for December 23rd through the 30th. December 23rd through the 30th. This is an overall message for the collective, so it may or may not resonate. We've been moving through some deep shadow work, deep waters. The solstice was a freaking heavy hitter. Am I right or am I right? Drop it in the comments below. I release these weekly readings every single Friday. So please tune in, like, comment, subscribe, all the things. I love connecting with you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Marley, thanks you too. Say hi, Marley. This is my baby boy. It's my kitty. And then I have a baby girl who's turning 6 months this week and always purrs so loud. Thanks for joining us today, Mar. So something also, if you guys tune in every week, it's a little different this week. It was about a week or two ago that I was called to add this deck into my weekly readings, which has been amazing, and I've been really loving it. And then when I went to go get the cards out to do this week's reading, I really like this actual deck and what's on the deck, but I do not like these cards, okay? And every single time when I'm doing these weekly readings, every single week, I'm like shuffling the cards and they just don't shuffle right in my hand. Like 3 or 5 of them will come out at one time. It's just like, and then it kind of like trips up my flow. And then I'm like, man, I love this deck. And the person who gifted it to me is so special to me. So whenever I first started doing these, I was like, yes, like we got to use all of the decks, right? And then even whenever I was like shuffling with them and I'm like, these just aren't, they're not shuffling the way that I want them to be with all the other decks, and it messes up my flow. I kept shooting on myself and being like, well, you should use all of your cards. Well, you should use this deck because it's meaningful to you, and you should blah, 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 blah. And then whenever I was getting out all my decks today, I'm like, nah, like I'm going to do what feels good for me. So hear that message, my loves. Listen to your soul. Stop shooting on yourself. Do what feels good for you. And like everything's going to flow just perfectly fine. Like it's all good. So for some reason, I felt the need, I felt called to start with that. Well, one, to let you guys know that we're not going to have any cards from this deck. Definitely not this week. And I don't know. We'll see. I'll check in next week if we need to add it back. I feel like it just needs a break right now until I can get those cards to be a little bit more worn in and used. The deck is just too new that they like stick together and stuff and just messes up my flow. And I'm just so done doing anything for whatever reason that messes up my flow. Like come down and just flow and be carried through this life, baby. Listen to your soul. Spirit, what do we got for December 23rd through the 30th? What do we have, Spirit, for the collective? What is the highest and best for the collective? Ooh. This was second. Blessed change. A major life change brings great blessings. We all been waiting for that. Am I right or am I right? Hoo-wee, shoo-wee. Do we need that change? We've been doing the shadow work in order to face our shit and make the changes in like real tangible reality. And like this is all like energetic changes, but in order to make the energy shift, you have to shift it in your physical reality. And so we're shifting, and the change brings us blessings. It brings us abundance. It brings us wealth and fulfillment. Ready, set, go. Now is the perfect moment to dive in and embrace your heart's desires. Do what you truly desire. It is time. It's saying go. Like, yeah, just go. We're diving in. We're diving off the deep end. I don't know why that just came through, but that's the vibe. Is like it's a full faith fall, but we need to dive off the deep end in order to make the big wave of change that's needed. Wait. Don't rush into action right now. Bide your time for different results. Guys, what are the chances that we get ready, set, go? Now is the perfect moment to dive in, embrace your heart's desires, and then right behind that, wait. Am I right or am I right? Comment below about how that's like exactly what this energy has been It's like, go take this action. Okay, hold space. Wait for it to all like, wait for all the dust to settle and for everything to like go where it needs to go. And then dive in and make a big change. And then wait, hold space and let everyone process their shit. And then dive and set your boundary and communicate yourself and wait and let them, cipher through how that makes. Good God, that is like the perfect description for what these current energies have been. And it says, bide your time for better results. We are feeling intuitively in our hearts and in our souls that we don't have to do the action as much anymore. Yes, you have to set the boundary, which is the ready, set, go, take the action. Yes. But also you don't have to explain and do all these things behind that and do all these backflips and these swirls. You just set the boundary and then you walk away and you let the cards fall where they're meant to fall. It's like you're just done explaining yourself. You're done explaining your soul. Like gracefully aging. This is that maturity. This is that soul growth. This is that leveling up and really being able to hold yourself and hold your power and hold your knowing. And for some reason, I just got come through, hold your inner child from that parent place, from that mature place, from I got this now. I'm not in the victim wounded anymore. Windfall. Watch, guys. Watch what comes through behind this card, because the blessings are going to start pouring in, because what you created in that taking action and now taking space, in doing that, you created space for possibilities to open up, and you're holding yourself anchored and centered like you haven't before. You've addressed this before, time and time again in your life, but you're holding yourself different this time. And that's what opens up the space for the windfall of great, great blessings. Watch, just watch. I almost bet it. Adult children, oof. Okay, what I'm getting around this one is that you're literally dealing with there's everybody. You're not alone if you're hearing this and you're like, oh, we're doing inner child healing. Yes. Yes, it's almost like keep this in mind. That's what I'm getting behind this. Like, just keep this in mind. Keep this in the background that like, we're all in these adult bodies right now doing this work, but really it is our child's self that is speaking out. So just be mindful that like, if you're setting a boundary with someone and they respond in a really poorly way, that may be their 7-year-old self speaking and not their 34-year-old self speaking. We're literally dealing with adult children as we heal our inner child. Mending bridges. I heal rifts. I am a mender. So these connections are going to mend, are going to restore. You're going to have that restoration. You're going to have that bridge come together. It's just going to take a little bit of time. Seeds of grace are being, for some reason there was resistance when I said take time. It's more spaciousness. It's more energetic. Try not to pay attention to the hours of the day or how many days are going by. It's actually unhooking yourself from time in a sense and paying more attention to the energetics and the spaciousness. It's going to take more spaciousness is what what they would desire me to say more. Sorry about that. Planting seeds of grace are being planted in the fertile soil of my soul. Planting seeds. This is planting seeds for the future, for your future nourishment. And that is why you're having to do this work now, is because you know where this road leads. You know where you end up if you just keep doing this. And you're like, I just can't anymore. And so you are planting seeds and changing the story and embodying that blessed change. Of course, embodying that blessed change so that you can harvest true abundance in the future. Communicating freely. I communicate from the depths of my soul. We are definitely open up that throat chakra right now. Let me tell you, communication is what is moving all of this. It's what's solving all of this. It's what's healing all of this. It's what's addressing all of this. Yes, this is all energetics happening and spiritual, very literal spiritual healing. But the human in us needs that or desires, I just got corrected, you don't need. You could just energetically set the boundary and then go do your own thing. That person might be like, what the fuck is going on? So in our human bodies, we want to, in this earth reality, we want to explain ourselves, but really you don't have to explain yourself. You don't really have to talk about anything, to be totally honest. You can just let the truth speak for itself and just react accordingly. But that is something that we are incorporating here, because our earth beings, our, our matrix beings and our consciousness in those bodies are trying to understand and trying to seek understanding for one another. Heart chakra, that's all of this. All of this is heart chakra work. Our broken hearts, our inner child's broken heart is what's being healed in this process. So it's forcing our heart open to a whole new, wider capacity. Two came out at the same time. Shadow. This one was flipped up, the other one was flipped down, and I haven't seen it yet. Shadow. Both sides of the coin. This is deep shadow work. It's that inner child healing. It's allowing our heart to expand and be the light to the subconscious, to the parts of ourselves that we have not wanted to look at, that we have not wanted to address. Disconnect and boredom. This is a process, guys. Try not to rush your healing and really, really just try and stay in your lane. A lot of codependency and addiction codes are being eradicated right now. And so, when this disconnect is from our disconnection from spirit, which is where the codependency and the addiction is rooted in. It's a spiritual disconnection. And so know that, there's more shadow work here. There's more discontent. There's more disconnection. There's more spaciousness. And just trust that if you find yourself discontent and bored, redirect all of that extra energy to yourself and to your own process. For some reason, I'm getting a strong signal of don't get to this place in the game and then start focusing on them and what they need to heal and what they need to address and what they need to work through and blah, blah, blah. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. You can't be bored in this process. Your inner child wants too much attention that you can always go hang with them. Dialogue. This is that communication. Dialogue. We are exchanging. They want me to look at this image too. I'm getting this like lotus unfolding. There's this unraveling. It's like this endless unraveling, and the dots are continuing to be connected, and especially through communication. That's how we're putting the whole picture and the whole story together, is by effectively, or at least to the best of our ability, communicating with one another. Peace. Peace. And they brought me to those ocean waves. It's peace in our hearts. It's peace in our souls. We've been attached to the trauma for so long. It's been so long. This is really deep shit that we're moving through, guys. It's like, 30, 40, 50 years long. And the level of peace that actually doing this shadow work and actually looking at it brings ultimately is just beyond. It's invaluable. Detachment, the art of letting go. This is what you have to do in order to really, truly do the work right now. You have to detach. These are codependency codes. These are addiction codes. It means it's too enmeshed. It's too attached. It's too intertwined. It's an attachment, not a connection. And so you have to detach and untangle in order to get to the other side of peace and of fulfillment and wealth and that which you do truly desire on a soul level. So at the end of the reading, I always pull a card from the Starseed deck and the Activations deck. So let's see what they have for us. Star Brothers, Horus energy. protection, loyalty, safety, trust. If that ain't the theme, I don't know what to tell you. This is major root chakra work. This is about being safe in our experience, to protect ourselves with proper boundaries, to be loyal and safe to our inner child and to ourselves for once. So yes, it is being, bonded and layers of trust unraveling in these connections, but it's really ultimately, when you detach from all of that and all those stories, it's about you. It's about you protecting yourself and your safety and your trust within yourself. It will manifest around you if you really and truly focus on that. Fertility. The frequency, this reminds me so much of like mother energy, fertility, and all of this is like so mother wound related. The frequency of fertility invites us to be more open, more courageous, more creative, and more joyful than we were before. It activates the potential for something beautiful to grow from our consciousness into a new and grander expression of ourselves. That about sums up the week. We are planting those seeds into fertile soil. We are making the changes that are necessary in order to move away from the enmeshment and the attachment and the trauma bonds and the toxicity, and really letting go and allowing what's organic and meant for us to be there for us, and trusting the divine that will be there. And all we have to do is tend to ourselves and tend to our souls, and that will manifest. This was beautiful. Thank you guys so much. Like I said, I do these readings every single week. I also do an overall energy update that I send out by email. So if you want to be on my email list, just go to my website below and then type it in the little pop-up that comes up. This is a beautiful reading, and it's just such beautiful work that we're doing right now. And I just really want to honor you for seeking to understand. You're seeking information, you're seeking wisdom, you're seeking knowledge, and you have no idea what a service you are doing for yourself and for everyone around you by just being present with this, even just this one video. It just goes such a long way. So ripples out. I love you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Please like, subscribe, comment, stay connected. Much love and namaste.